abre mima obi biara akwaba stories ayensa aka ena ye bejai egu ho ama Ghana yemunra ensem no emu
Abusia over like video na wa share dia mo bifufro na onu nso enya bi ahwe ana obepie mu Ghana mu a suspended Chief Justice Madam Gertrude Torkonoo watabri Ghana mampanyin ene Ghana man nyina edi akwakogina asembibia ewo ECOWAS ye fe no ECOWAS Court ni nyina ne se ye maami kire mu a kwan a mampanyin John Dramani Mahama ene NDC amonyoko no afaso a omo etete no egu nanimu ase asanso age ne dibre fi ni nsem as the Chief Justice of the Republic no onti ase na court ya odi akoyi no nkra ne kire mu a o demande $10 million edi afi Ghana mampanyin ene Ghana ho na abusia we here the first time Chief Justice bi eti adwaso a ye hwan na se akonwani enti no emra no akoye bibie wo ho a nipa bebre na na echeche omadwen edi fa ho ni ade na die enti poti a emami di asemu yi akodan ECOWAS ni se abra mampanyin John Dramani Mahama April 22nd o suspended no na enka owo ho kwan se ono so etimi cheche ni side of the story na nso so enya ade a mampanyin ema no sa akwanya no ema no etimi cheche ni nsemu kra na we no uhwe mudin a na chese kwakoye se sebisebio ya chichi ni nsa egu nachi na ye boni sum saa chese ye man kwan kra man ntimi encheche ni nsemu na ohwe amamra nso a ye dibu ye man ya bibia di adanse se esanse ye kabima min kabinti no se sebio uchi kromfo tachi amoakra de nkodin asem bibia ye man akwanya ma ono nso timi cheche ni nsemu na nso we de ye nya ne saa nti amansem no akoye deja ene ade a ehu ho pa ne se koba se asem no ye kobua na ebubo Ghana enkoye se bi o mampanyin John Dramani Mahama ni bottom ska na odi ba ko tua sa $10 million no na mum Ghana sika na no na me bisa wo se kwadwen kire o sa asem ho ene sen se kobubo mampanyin ene Ghana achese ska yenya bi kra yemfa ensiesi oman no eno na yede kwa kotua sa kai ema no so abefo ha ofoforo edi abre ya na yanji brain na yenkotie nsem no mu enchiremu details of the whole story any scenarios are surround the situation of the Chief Justice and ode Ghana mine mampanyin akogirem ewo ECOWAS asembibia.
Suspended Chief Justice Ayoba Penny Gertrude Araba Isaba Torkonoo wano enene omampeni ejina Ghana yama mrane so 1992 Constitution article 146 clause 6 no eso ni nyina emrane ma ne ho kwan pefe esese omampeni saka tumikrata anaso omampeni saka krata bi kire Chief Justice oti edwaso enema bi nkoyi enema bi ntwai a se wo so edema Council of State na Council of State nso ehwehwema no mu se ensuo bi wom enyinaso bi wom pa na ene omampani esese wo pa committee na committee ne tena se eye adwuma hwe se Chief Justice ye pamono anansa won tena se na onye na adwuma eno ene bra committee efi o madwuma se eye Justice ECOWAS Court ya poama committee ni titire ni di ena ya de toso eni nti sa committee na adwuma no eye nkakra ena omu efiase committee na adwuma no mo efiase Chief Justice ababonte di kan kra etro akrata ebe ka che Ghana fo nyina ese ni edi kan bebia ye sa adwuma ne kra no ohun ni se enkoyie committee ni bebe ye de ama won kokotena no wose okwa ya tututuo kakra ewo ho enti ya de a ekakai no ni tete no ekakai ni niam bia ense ne mfata eno achikrase ho suspended Chief Justice okoduru ho ase ye bo ni search ase mema bia bo ni search no obi pese ode ne nse ewura ba bia ense na emfata eno achi ose ne lawyer enema bia wo wa esese ye ma ne lawyer kwan na ne lawyer ye no kra ye ma no sa akwanya no ose ni kunu ye ma kwan ese ni kunu na se busuani bi mpo eni nachi na sam ni bi pem na anka ya krokro no nkakra ewo eho eno ene nsema Chief Justice odi kan e di release ba abonten e be bo Ghana for amane ase Ghana for ankenkan Ghana for antie eno achikura eno san be ye press conference e be bo mu che Ghana for nyina se we die mekasa obechirechire mu pa e de che Ghana for ena Chief Justice ankasa akọ eye ECOWAS Court of Justice akọ ese yetietia ne fa ahodie so na ne fa ahodie so na yetietia no emra wo ho pa Angel Kasi abowram ECOWAS Court of Justice no atemuafu a eteso e wo ho ne tie de oye PM panin pa wo ho tetitirani e wo ho eye Justice Honorable Justice Ricardo Claudia Montero a wono efi Kevet Vice President eye Justice Senyo Mohammed Koroma wono so efi Sierra Leone ena ya Ghana ni dehye pa Justice Edward Amuakun Asante na anu ya otwe ECOWAS Court ni nyina eba manga na mu ha ena de otosubio oye member eye Justice Watara wono efi Cote d'Ivoire ene ye Justice Dub Atipo wono so efi Nigeria na sansem we gise enya lawyer ni mapa wono ene betimi a kire ye mu pa amayate asese na Chief Justice eye ne kwanso anu no anase afomumra no ewo baabi private legal practitioner eye Gomda Abdul Aziz wono ene ye ne eba besua de ewo emra we hu kanso mame mo adwo emu akwaba mi se baabi awo no eno anu no anamo Chief Justice suspended Chief Justice watui mame ni kan bisa se ye ne Ghana fo e bisa se usomu sen eno anu no
mi jiwo so me semi chira okay phone na no tell amajiwe chomuna okay but okay nka
kanso bacho odem meton kapa
okay well as it comes here the extent of the information here in terms of Chief Justice keeps our file of ECOWAS now is only limited to what the Deputy Attorney General Honorable Dr. Justice Sai I just share my public because I don't think we have records or copies of the contents of Adia on our Chief Justice Nasari or suspended Chief Justice no actually in the court. And if you look at information the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and Deputy Attorney General shared with the public, basically, or share say Chief Justice challenge the legality of the suspension law, which from where limits now is a constitutional matter. And that's the ECOWAS Court no almost jurisdiction to entertain and hear matters of human rights violations. For now, we couldn't share the exact nature of Chief Justice case because those matters have not been public yet. But relying on the information Deputy Attorney General has shared to the public, I understand we say or challenging the legality of the suspension and the power to suspend the Chief Justice, the Afema Constitution has provided for and has provided the procedure by which president who has the power to suspend the Chief Justice, who is a subject of a removal proceeding. So the procedural requirements are laid down clearly in the Constitution. And the question you ask yourself is challenging the legality of the suspension as provided under Article 146 of the Constitution, to which the President of Ghana had the power to bring. Is that challenge to be done within our local courts or within a community court like ECOWAS Court? And as mentioned earlier, ECOWAS Court, in addition to some other jurisdictions on law, they have the power to determine human rights violations. Is this issue a human rights violation? And it's based on what the Deputy Attorney General has shared with the public. I don't think it's a human rights violation. And if it is not a human rights violation and it's an issue challenging the constitutional authority, clearly, every court by its establishment is regulated by a law. And ECOWAS Court, no, the jurisdiction is established by the ECOWAS Treaty and accompanying protocols, which confers its jurisdiction. And jurisdiction is basically the power of a court to determine certain matters. And the law no manu and confer a particular power in the court to determine a pattern. The court cannot go into that matter.
Okay.
And if you look at the jurisdiction conferred by the ECOWAS Treaty and the accompanying protocols that establish the ECOWAS Court of Justice, determining the validity of constitutional injunctions and constitutional powers of domestic, domestic in nature or national sovereign countries is not part of our jurisdiction. So ECOWAS Court is meant to determine whether the President of Ghana has exercised his power under Article 146 correctly or otherwise. Common needs power. The only power they might have as it relates to the individual is where there are allegations of violations of human rights.
Council Minchawano ba Osha dear Deputy Attorney General Justice Msai Eposti Yana Part ni bi kasa ese suspended Chief Justice HSE yetieti anefa ahudie so human right na yanre ne said ya wo kan agana fo etie wi nyina no se eyampa se yetieti anefa ahudie so na ECOWAS court wo jurisdiction a ebetimi affect ye o betimi akase da bi mu tietia ma me ne fa ahudie so ntinu munyai na wo metena se nya na adwuma bibisa betimi asi.
Okay, it is on general human rights violation. Of course, the ECOWAS court, community court has the jurisdiction. And even in our within our domestic setting as Ghana, not every matter borders on human rights. Not every allegation of constitutional violation constitutes human rights violation. And like I said, we have not had the benefit of the content of the application or the process that are filing was on the ECOWAS court. As relying on what the Deputy Attorney General can, he is basically, and if I may, I think what the Deputy Attorney General said was that, I'm quoting the Deputy Attorney General, that essentially, the leadership agreed that by a suspension, she, another course, has effectively been removed from her official capacity without a final determination, impairing her right to function and serve in a position she was constitutionally appointed to. And that right now makes reference to it's a right created under Article 146, or it's a right created under the Constitution which confers powers on her. Then Article 146 can also govern the president's power to suspend a civil subject of this proceeding. Now, make it very clear that
Council wadaruma onna no kakra bi ma yɛ sɛ anoma bi twetwetwa wa homa anima nti mu nhyɛ enkoyi.
Hello,
kasa menhwɛ.
Yeah,
me pa cha fe odem wadaruma odem TNT o.
The point I was making was that yes, the ECOWAS court has jurisdiction in the human rights violation. But if you look at the nature of the plan, okay, before it was completed by the Deputy Attorney General, my view is that the ECOWAS community court only makes decisions in the matter because it borders on challenging the authority of the president to suspend her. And the ECOWAS community court doesn't have jurisdiction to determine whether our president has complied with the constitution or not. It's a sovereign matter for which our courts have jurisdiction to determine on such matters. And the court in Ghana, for the purpose of determining whether the constitution has been complied with or not, is the Supreme Court. And clearly, Chief Justice is currently before the Supreme Court, challenging her suspension, challenging the removal and all those things. And I am very convinced that the Supreme Court is competent enough to make that determination. And I know she has supervised or she has presided over the Supreme Court for some time, and I'm very confident she is so aware that the Supreme Court is competent. But on challenging whether the suspension is valid or not, and impairing her from functioning as a Chief Justice, I'm sorry to say that based on my review and understanding of the rules and the laws are establishing or manner establishing ECOWAS Court now, I'll be surprised to hear that they have entertained that matter. Clearly, I expect them to say that, well, if you are complaining of human rights violations, they are here to hear you out. But if you are challenging your suspension, unfortunately, I don't think the law that established